Everyone talks about magnesium. Take magnesium for sleep. Take magnesium for cramps. Take magnesium for erections. And yes, magnesium matters. I won't argue with that. But what if I told you that there are two vitamins that most men over 50 completely overlook, and that taking them together before bed can do more for your manhood, your energy, and your bedroom performance than every magnesium pill on the planet combined? I'm not making this up. What I'm about to share with you is supported by real clinical evidence, and I have personally seen it work with hundreds of patients in my own practice. The second vitamin is the one that shocked me the most when I first started noticing changes in my patients, and it will probably shock you too. If you've been popping magnesium every single night and you're still not feeling the boost you were promised in your energy, your erections, or your drive, watch this all the way through. By the end of today, you'll know exactly why that's happening and what you can do about it starting tonight. I'm Dr. Emily Carter, a board-certified urologist with more than 12 years of hands-on experience helping men over 50 reclaim their vitality, their strength, and their self-assurance. I've sat across from thousands of men who walked into my office defeated, having gone through supplement after supplement with zero meaningful change. And what I found is that in the overwhelming majority of those cases, the issue wasn't what they were putting into their bodies, it was what they were leaving out. Two specific vitamins that, when paired together at night, switch on repair systems that magnesium on its own simply cannot touch. Before we go any further, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button and drop a comment telling me whether you currently take magnesium before bed. I genuinely want to know how many of you are already doing that and are ready for the next level. Now here's the reality about nighttime supplementation after 50 that nobody tells you. Your body doesn't run on one single miracle nutrient. It runs on a precise team of co-players that work in harmony while you sleep to fix, rebuild, and recharge your hormonal and vascular systems. Magnesium is absolutely a piece of that puzzle, no question. But picture this, you're trying to light a campfire. Magnesium is the wood. Essential, yes, but without a match to create the spark and without air to feed the flames, that wood just sits there cold. That is exactly what's going on with millions of men who swallow magnesium faithfully every night and still wake up drained, still deal with weak erections, and still feel like their desire has packed its bags and left. They're missing the spark, they're missing the oxygen, they're missing these two vitamins that I'm going to break down for you right now. And once you add them to your bedtime routine, it will finally click why magnesium by itself was never going to be enough. The first vitamin is vitamin D3. And before you roll your eyes and say you already know about this one, I need you to hear what most doctors never bother to explain about the direct link between vitamin D and your manhood after 50. Here's the biology. Vitamin D3 isn't truly a vitamin at all. It's a prohormone, a hormonal building block that your body absolutely requires to manufacture testosterone. Without enough vitamin D3 flowing through your bloodstream, the Leydig cells inside your testicles, the tiny factories responsible for making testosterone, simply cannot do their job properly. Imagine a fully equipped manufacturing plant with all the machines running and all the workers ready, but the raw material never arrives. The conveyor belt stops, output drops, and when testosterone drops, everything else drops right along with it. Energy tanks, desire vanishes, erections lose their firmness, muscle starts to fade, motivation disappears, even your mood takes a nosedive. Here's the number that should wake you up. Research suggests that somewhere between 70 and 80% of men past the age of 50 are walking around with vitamin D3 levels that are either insufficient or dangerously low. The explanation is straightforward. Once you pass 50, your skin gradually loses its ability to turn sunlight into vitamin D. Even if you're spending time outside every day, your body is now producing up to 75% less vitamin D than it did when you were in your 20s. And if you live somewhere cloudy, work under fluorescent lights all day, or wear sunscreen consistently, the deficit gets even deeper. On an emotional level, low vitamin D3 shows up in ways that most men never connect to this one nutrient. Random irritability that seems to come from nowhere. A constant heaviness in your body like you're dragging sandbags. Losing interest in hobbies, activities, and yes, even intimacy. So many of my patients have sat in my office and said, "Dr. Carter, it's not that I don't want to be close to my wife, it's that I feel absolutely nothing inside, like somebody flipped the desire switch to off." And when I pull up their blood work, almost every single time, their vitamin D3 is sitting below 30 nanograms per milliliter, which is the bare minimum. For optimal male hormonal health, you really want to be between 50 and 70 nanograms per milliliter. Now let's talk about what to actually do. The recommended dose for men over 50 who are deficient is 4,000 to 5,000 IU of vitamin D3 per day. And here's a detail that almost everyone misses. Vitamin D3 is fat soluble. That means it needs dietary fat to get absorbed properly. If you take it with just water on an empty stomach, you could be losing up to half of what you swallowed. Take it at night alongside your dinner, which naturally has some fat in it, or chase it with a small spoonful of olive oil. That way your body soaks up every last drop and puts it to work during sleep, which is exactly when your hormonal production hits its highest gear. Let me tell you about Gerald, a 62-year-old gentleman who walked into my office about 4 months back. Gerald had been taking magnesium every single night for over a year. His sleep had improved slightly, sure, but his erections were still disappointing. His drive was basically non-existent. He felt worn out every single day, no matter how much rest he got. He looked at me and said, "Dr. Carter, I followed every piece of advice the health videos gave me, magnesium every night, and nothing has changed." I ordered a full blood panel. His vitamin D3 came back at 18 nanograms per milliliter, severely deficient. I put him on 5,000 IU of vitamin D3 taken with dinner every evening. 6 weeks later, Gerald came back into my office looking like a different person. His eyes were bright. He told me, "Doctor, it feels like someone turned the power back on inside me. I actually want things again. I have energy I haven't felt in years." My morning erections came back for the first time since I can remember. His vitamin D3 had climbed to 52 nanograms per milliliter. The magnesium had been laying the groundwork all along. The vitamin D3 was the key that finally started the engine. Now, the second vitamin, vitamin K2. And this is the one that truly catches people off guard because almost nobody discusses it when it comes to a man's performance and vitality. But the scientific backing is powerful. Let's start with the biology. Vitamin K2 does 2 critical things inside your body that directly impact your sexual health and overall energy. The first function. Vitamin K2 activates a protein called osteocalcin. Now, osteocalcin used to be thought of as just a bone protein, nothing more. But recent research has revealed something remarkable. It is actually a direct driver of testosterone production in the testes. Studies published in respected endocrinology journals have demonstrated that men with higher levels of activated osteocalcin carry significantly higher testosterone levels. This is a biochemical connection that mainstream medicine has been slow to acknowledge, but the science has confirmed it beyond any doubt. The second function, and this one is equally critical. Vitamin K2 acts as a traffic director for calcium in your body. It pushes calcium into the places it belongs, your bones and your teeth, and pulls it away from where it causes damage, your arteries and blood vessels. Arterial calcification is one of the silent destroyers of blood flow in men over 50. When the arteries feeding your pelvic region get coated with calcium deposits, they turn stiff and narrow, choking off the blood supply to the tissue responsible for erections. Think of it like old water pipes in a house. Over the decades, mineral buildup crusts along the inside walls. Water still trickles through, but with less and less pressure and volume every year. Vitamin K2 works like a natural descaler, preventing that calcium crust from forming and even helping to dissolve deposits that are already there. On an emotional level, when I sit down and explain to my patients that there's a single vitamin capable of boosting their testosterone and cleaning out their arteries at the same time, the reaction is always the same. First comes disbelief, then comes frustration. Disbelief because nobody ever mentioned it to them before. Frustration because they've spent years and hundreds of dollars on supplements that never addressed these root causes. I hear it constantly. Why hasn't any doctor told me about this before? And the honest answer is simple. Vitamin K2 doesn't make pharmaceutical companies rich the way erectile dysfunction pills do, so it rarely comes up in a standard office visit. From a practical standpoint, the most effective form of vitamin K2 is called MK7, derived from natural fermentation. It has the best absorption rate and stays active in your system the longest, which means a single dose per day does the job. The suggested amount for men over 50 is 100 to 200 micrograms of vitamin K2 as MK7 every night. And here's the part that ties everything together. Vitamin K2 and vitamin D3 were made to function as a pair. Vitamin D3 boosts calcium absorption in your gut and triggers the production of osteocalcin. But without K2 in the picture, that extra calcium can drift into your arteries instead of settling into your bones. And osteocalcin stays dormant, unable to do its job of stimulating testosterone. They are two halves of one system. Taking D3 without K2 is like stepping on the gas pedal of a car that has no steering wheel. You generate force, but you have zero control over where it goes. Quick pause here. If you've made it this far, it tells me you genuinely care about your health and your vitality. That separates you from the crowd. Most men don't even get halfway through a video like this. You're still here, still learning, and that alone deserves respect. Now let me share the story of Thomas, who is 69 years old. Thomas is a case that perfectly shows what happens when you bring these two vitamins together the right way. When he first came to see me, he was already on magnesium and vitamin D3 separately, but he had never once heard of vitamin K2. His erections were unreliable. His energy bounced up and down like a yo-yo. And he admitted to me, with real pain in his voice, that he had completely stopped being intimate with his wife for over a year because the embarrassment was too much to bear. I added 200 micrograms of vitamin K2 as MK7 to his nightly routine, right alongside his D3 and magnesium. 8 weeks later, Thomas did something none of my patients had ever done before. He called me directly on the phone. He said, "Dr. Carter, I had to tell you this right now. Last night, my wife and I were together for the first time in over a year. It was different. It was like the old days. She was crying. I was crying. We just held each other." That phone call is the reason I do what I do. It's not about capsules and dosages. It's about giving a man back his connection to the person he loves, his confidence in himself, and his sense of who he is. All right, here is your step-by-step plan to begin tonight. Step 1. Take 4,000 to 5,000 IU of vitamin D3 every evening with your dinner or with any source of healthy fat. Make absolutely sure it's D3, not D2. D3 is far more effective when it comes to supporting male hormonal health. Step 2. Add 100 to 200 micrograms of vitamin K2 in the MK7 form right alongside your D3. Plenty of high-quality supplements already combine both in one capsule, which is the easiest way to guarantee you're getting the proper balance. Step 3. Continue taking your magnesium if it's already part of your routine. Magnesium glycinate or threonate are the preferred forms. Take 200 to 400 milligrams about 30 minutes before you get into bed. Magnesium stays the foundation. Vitamin D3 and K2 are the boosters that multiply its effects dramatically. That's it. 3 supplements, 1 bedtime routine, less than 60 seconds of your time each night. Give it 4 to 8 weeks, and the shift in your energy, your desire, the strength of your erections, and the quality of your sleep may be something you haven't experienced in years. I want you to hear something important before we wrap up. If you've been trying supplement after supplement with nothing to show for it, if you felt let down, confused, or like your body has given up on you, you are not broken and you have not failed. You were simply missing the right combination. Your body hasn't shut down. Your body has been sitting there patiently, waiting for the correct tools so it can fire back up. Even past 60, past 70, and beyond, you are fully capable of feeling alive, feeling desire, feeling strong, and reclaiming the energy you were convinced was gone forever. It is never too late to give your body exactly what it's been asking for. If this video showed you something you didn't know before, smash that like button so other men who need this can find it. Leave a comment below and tell me whether you already knew about vitamin K2 or if this is brand new information for you. Send this video to a friend, a brother, or someone in your family who has been struggling with low energy or poor performance. And subscribe so you never miss my weekly health strategies designed specifically for men over 50. You might be the reason another man finally finds the missing piece he's been searching for. I'm Dr. Emily Carter, reminding you that after 50, vitality isn't gone, it's simply waiting to be reawakened.